Gently, Lou. What are you doing in my chair?
Hello there, I'm your host Peter Taylor. Welcome to our second ever show of Tickle Scratch, a free weekly online showcase presenting new work from across the globe, presented to you in the comfort of your own home. Tonight we have 6 pieces based around the theme of mental health, family troubles and identity crisis, which were picked by our panel of judges, including our special guest judge for this week, playwright and actor Tom Hartwell. So, without further ado, let's get started with our first piece, Maggie, by Jim Rufford, performed by Brede McDermott. Maggie is a homeless bag lady, a figure of pity and derision. She pushes her worldly possessions around in a supermarket trolley. Yet, as she tells us herself, she won't be pushed around like some piece of social garbage. Enjoy.
And what the fuck are you lot looking at? Still there? Suit yourselves. You know, I've got a good mind to go back. Go back and find him and do for the bastard. The bastard. She was doing no harm, was she? Just sitting there with her little girl. All she wanted to do was sit and drink her tea. But would the bastard let her? No, not he. I've seen him around the place, you know, here and there. I know him. Nasty piece of goods. Swears something terrible. I'm too fond of the drink. Though, look at me. Who am I to talk? And shouts in the street at any black face that's not big enough to shout back. Who the hell is he to barge in and pretend he's so high and fucking mighty? Look at me. Not the Queen of Sheba, am I? But I'm as good as him and better any day. And if he's such a class act, how come he uses that cafe? Your man gets nothing but shite in there, and he's the biggest shite of the lot. He likes to think he's above us all, better. Got a job and money in his pocket, but he's nothing more than an ignorant bloody shite. And don't tell me it's patriotism. I wouldn't believe that. No, it's not patriotism. And it's not because she's a Muslim either, with a headscarf and all. No, I'll tell you what it is. It's because she's a woman. He saw her as soon as he came in. He knows her, of course. Everybody around here knows her. He goes up to her and says, "Come on, you. Fuck off the pair of you. We don't want your sort in here. Fucking bombers." He shouted that at her in front of her little girl. "We don't want your sort in here, terrorist fucking bombers." And she just sat there, looking at her tea. The kid was terrified. Couldn't have been more than 5. Oh yeah, big man, frightening a little fucking kid. And the mother just sat there, just sat there, looking at her tea. Well, it's their men make them like that, isn't it? They like them meek. Won't let them inherit the earth, though, no, will they? No. Not a woman. Well, it was nothing to do with me, was it? Until I thought he was going to grab her and the kid and throw them out. And, well, no one was doing anything. Your man was stood at his counter reading his paper, and the 2 other men there were just pretending nothing was happening. And I thought, she wasn't the bomber. That was her son. He was the bloody terrorist. He was the one that blew himself up. And that fucking bastard is just using it as an excuse to stand there and go at her because she was a woman and because she wouldn't stand up to him. So I got this out and I went over to him. "Come on, you bastard," says I. "Throw me out with her and the kid. And if you try it, you'll get this in your belly." And he looks at the blade and he looks at me and he sees I'll do it, and I would. I would have stuck the bastard. And you know what he says? You know what the snivelling little bastard says? I'll call the police. And that's the God's truth. I'll call the police. I fucking laughed in his face. Call the fucker, says I. And if you can, after, call an ambulance. Not that it'll do you any good. The weak little shite gives me a look and says he'll get round to me one day. Do so, says I. I always have it with me, and I'm always ready to oblige a gentleman. And this snivelling little coward looks round the room and buggers off. When he was gone, I looked down at her and I could see she was crying. And she looks at me and says, thank you. Keep your thanks, says I didn't do it for you. Why should he get to come in here, shouting the odds, throwing his weight around and spoil my fucking allowances? And she's still looking at me. The kid is holding on to her and crying. And I thought, sod it. It's got fuck all to do with me. I just wanted a bit of peace and quiet to drink my tea. I said to go back to my table and she put her hand on my arm. He was my son. Whatever he did, he was still my son. Are you a mother? If you're a mother, you'll understand. He was my son. I loved him and he loved me. So he was your son. And he loved you. Great. He was still a fucking terrorist and a fucking useless one at that, or he wouldn't have got himself blown up, would he? And I left her. Let the silly cow learn to take care of herself and her kid, thought I. What is it to me if she lets herself get trampled on? If she can't learn to fight back, then oh, fuck them all. What is it to me? Am I a mother? What kind of a question is that? Do I look like a fucking mother? And what if I am? What is it to me if he blew himself to bits trying to blow up some other poor innocent bastard? Good riddance to him, I say. Serves the terrorist bastard right. I hope he rots in hell. Am I a mother? But I understand. Oh, I understand, all right. It's the men, isn't it? It's always the men. They take our sons from us. They fill them full of lies and hate till they've got them the way they want. Then they give them a gun or a bomb and say, it's for the cause, Mickey. It's for justice, it's for freedom, it's for United Ireland. You're doing it for Ireland. Oh, I understand, all right. I was a mother. I had a son. So I understand. Ever since they came and told me he was dead, killed trying to free Ireland, I've been doing nothing but understand. What the fuck are you lot looking at? Go on, fuck off. I can take care of myself. No bastard's going to push me around, understand? Oh, I understand, all right. I was a mother. I had a son. I loved him and he loved me. I understand. And look what it did to me.
Anywho, let's turn to our next piece, which is My Turn by Martin Keady, performed by Anna Jane Stilwell and Tino Orsini. A couple tried to save their marriage by using the medium of our time, Zoom. Enjoy.
All right then. Let me explain how it works.
How what works?
This.
What? Talking? Oh, I know how that works. In fact, I've been doing all of my own talking since I was 2.
All right then. Listening. My brother's got the kids.
I still can't believe you took them there.
I had to. I couldn't have stayed with you all this time, not even being able to leave the house. We would have killed each other if I hadn't come here.
Oh, so you just left, leaving me feeling like I want to kill myself because I can't see my children except on a bloody Zoom call.
Look, we haven't got long before Zoom kicks us off. Are we going to do this or not? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm just wondering whether I want to participate in this or not.
It's your choice.
Oh, I get to choose, do I? I didn't think I could make choices anymore. I thought you did all the choosing for me. Like taking the kids to your brother's house at the other end of the country 24 hours before lockdown kicked in, so I couldn't see them. All right. Let's do it.
Good. I think the best way to do this is to take turns.
Turns?
Yes, I've been researching it.
Researching it? You mean Googling it? They're not synonyms.
Okay, I've been Googling it. I've been to all the marriage guidance websites I could find. Relate, Contact.
Don't forget Grapple and Wrestle.
And they all say that if you've reached a point in the relationship when you can no longer talk to each other...
Oh, so you've decided that we can't talk anymore, have you? Is that why you just took off with the kids?
Then the best thing to do is to take turns.
Turns? What does that mean?
It means that you, well, one of us, is quiet and listens, while the other one...
You?
Just talks. Just for a few minutes. 5 max. Without interruption.
Have the 5 minutes begun?
No, not yet. As I said, I was just trying to explain how it works.
No, you can't explain it because it's inexplicable. The idea that two people, a husband and wife, taking turns to talk to each other, it's madness.
It's not. The idea is that by taking turns, the other person, the one who's not talking, is compelled to listen even though they don't want to.
I do want to talk. I do want to listen. I just don't want them to be mutually exclusive.
Well, I'm afraid they are. Well, they are on Zoom anyway, as we have recently discovered. Because otherwise you just end up talking on top of one another. And that's true of normal people who can talk to each other normally, which we obviously can't. So we'll take turns. Look, I know it sounds ridiculous. When I first read it, I thought, that's ridiculous. But there is some sound reasoning behind it.
And what's that?
It's the kettle theory.
The what theory?
The kettle theory. The idea is that when a relationship has reached its boiling point, as ours obviously has, the best thing to do, the first thing to do is to take it off the boil.
I'm not a kettle. We're not a kettle.
I know we're not. But the point still applies that in any kind of stressful situation, like a hostage situation...
Oh, is that what this is? A hostage situation? God, you're not keeping the kids hostage, are you?
No, of course not. The point is that in any kind of stressful situation, the best thing to do, or the first thing to do, is to try and de-stress it. Take the anger, the hostility, and the pressure out of it. That's what it is. Look, we've spent years trying and failing to talk to each other normally. So now we're going to talk to each other abnormally. Not permanently. No, just for now. It's a first step. That's it. Are you prepared to do it or not?
Okay.
Good.
I just have one question.
What's that?
Who goes first?
Don't get me wrong, Zoom has been super helpful during lockdown, obviously seeing family and everything like that, but it doesn't make some things terribly awkward. Rehearsing and auditioning as a main example. Just me. Anywho. Next up we have A Last Letter by Steve Dimmer, performed by Mayalani Moes. The idea for this monologue came about when families weren't able to see each other during lockdown, and especially when families weren't able to see each other when a family member was about to pass away. In this piece, a nurse is reading out loud to one of her patients a final letter before the end. Enjoy.
Dear Dad, We're so sorry we can't be with you now. Coronavirus means we can't be with you in case we infect someone. So the best we can do is write this and ask the nurse to read it to you. We are watching on the computer, which is no comfort at all, but at least we will be with you as you make your last journey to be with Mum at last. It seems too late now to tell you how much you are loved. We wish we told you more, told you daily, over and over, how much we love you. But we really hope you can hear this and know just how much you are loved. You were always kind, all through our childhoods and after. You were there, helping and advising. Whenever we were told off by Mum, you'd give us a small wink that told us you were on our side. You were always on our side. When we fell over, both you and Mum were there. Mum to do the real first aid and you to kiss it better. Whenever we did a school show or carol concert, there you were on the front row because you got there an hour earlier to be the first in the queue. When we started going to nightclubs, you would pick us up from anywhere at some stupid hour of the morning, moaning all the time. But we knew that really you were happy to do it because it meant we were safe. We've lost count of the money you've lent us in the past, even when you knew you'd never get it back. There were times when the look on your face told us you knew it was the last you'd see of that tenner or 20 or whatever. When you and Mum lent us the deposits for our first houses, it was such a relief and such a gesture of love that although we said thank you, it seemed so small compared with what you've done. You've been such a great granddad, not just because you were a free babysitter. Olivia, Sophia and Fred have such happy memories of being with you, helping you in the garden, learning origami, playing football, dancing at Harry's 21st. They still all remember you rolling down the hills with them at Scarborough and standing up covered in dog poo. Olivia says you were the best granddad in the world, and Fred still laughs at how when you found out he was being bullied at school, you ignored the proper way of complaining and just stormed across the playground, threatening the boy with your walking stick. Sophia wouldn't be a dancer now if you hadn't insisted on paying for lessons when Tony lost his job. The worst time for all of us is when we lost Mum. It was a terrible time for us, so God knows how you coped. You were never a man to cry in front of people, but your eyes were really red for over a year afterwards. So we knew when you're alone, in your alone moments, you'd be finding it really hard. There were times when you were extra cheerful. That was another sign. We all loved Mum, but not in the way that you did. So deep. To lose a friend and partner after all that time must have been the most awful time of your life. You never really got over it, got used to it maybe, but never really got over it. Just got used to it. And then you bought Dandy, and she seemed to help you bounce back, get a purpose in life again. And please don't worry about Dandy. She's living with Peter and always will. The only other time we saw you down was when you lost your job. After Mum died, Nugget and Johnson became really important to you, a reason to get up in the morning, and when they went under, you must have been devastated. We were very worried about you for a while, but then you got our allotment. To be honest, we never thought you'd stick with it. We thought it'd be another fad, like the indoor bowls and the line dancing and the fishing. All those rods and nets and equipment, and you only went 3 times before deciding it was cruel and sold the lot. Well, we sold it for you. You never did get the hang of eBay. But the allotment worked perhaps because you were creating something instead of destroying it. Fred still remembers the little plot of land you set aside for him and the pride he had when he grew some carrots. He still doesn't know it was you who put fully grown ones in when his were killed by the frost. You were always funny. You probably don't remember when Aunt Kathy said she wanted to lose a bit of weight and you suggested she have a lobotomy. But we do. And we'll never forget when you went into Hotel Chocolate and asked where the Mars bars were. Just before you came into hospital, you made Harry laugh when you said that Barbara had the perfect face for social distancing. The best time, because it was the worst, was when you told the president of Mum's WI that Mary Berry was a slang term for the clitoris. Mum said she wanted the ground to open up and swallow her, but when she told us, we couldn't stop laughing. You never gave a toss as long as Mum and us and you were happy. Well, we were, Dad. You made our lives such fun and filled them with happiness and laughter, and none of us know what we're going to do when you go. We love you so much. We've managed to get the music you wanted for your funeral. The Damn Buses and In the Mood were easy, but we couldn't find Ebb Tide by Jerry Colonna anywhere. We finally got a 78 off a specialist site, and Olivia is going to convert it. God knows what people will make of you being carried into such a mad song, but we think it will make people laugh anyway. We've cried a lot writing this, Dad. Mainly because everything we've written seems so useless. It's so hard to write down on a few bits of paper how much you mean to us. In fact, it's impossible. We want your leaving this earth to be gentle and peaceful and painless, with you knowing how much we love you and how much we'll miss you. The only thing that helps in all this is knowing that soon you and Mum will be together again. And that's the only thing. We don't know how we'll live without you, but we know you want us to try. You'll be missed by us all and in our hearts forever. God bless Dad. All our love, Tony and Laura, Michelle and David, Olivia, Sophia, Fred, and Dandy.
Say hello. Hello. Thank you. Are you enjoying the performances, Lupin? Are you enjoying the performances? Yeah. Or are you a dog? That sums it up. So here we will have a short interval where you can of course pause the video, you can make yourself a cup of tea, have a coffee, make yourself some dinner, breakfast, whichever part of the world that you're from. But I would like to take this opportunity to talk to you about your mental health. We all have rough patches every once in a while, and during lockdown has been particularly tough for many, but for some it has been too much to bear. The 10th of September was World Suicide Prevention Day. Nearly 800,000 people take their own lives every year, which is one person every 40 seconds, which devastates families and friends. The stigma about being more aware of our mental health has lessened over the years, but it is still seen as a stigma. 1 in 4 of us has a mental health condition, but many suffer in silence. It is not weak or shameful to ask for help. Whatever your situation, you always have the option to talk to someone. Whether it be a parent, a sibling, a friend, a therapist, or even someone at the end of the phone, there will always be someone to listen to you. You are always important. Below in this video is a series of links and phone numbers to get in contact if you or anyone you know needs them. Thank you. And now, let's continue with the rest of the show. Next up, we have Collisions by Peter Taylor, that's me, performed by George Fletcher. The piece was actually inspired by the show Electrolyte by Wildcard Theatre. In this small section, Ben recounts one of the worst days of his life, which unfortunately involved his brother, Aidan. Enjoy.
I never really found sirens scary before. When you hear them, it's like music. Like a song that's saying, I'll help, I'll help, I'll help. You know, but then again, maybe it's, you know, there can be a call for death, like singing, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. That's not like it. Sometimes something that was once fun and awesome can really turn your life. It's been 10 months. And now he calls me. My blood is boiling. What? I say. Ben? Ben, it's Aidan. Hello? I know you're there. I have nothing to say to you. Well, I do. We need to talk. No, we don't. You can't keep avoiding me. How did you get this number? Does it really matter? Christ. Mum. Listen, we should meet up before tomorrow. I know you've been told not to, you know, by your lawyer like I have, but it's important, Ben. I don't really think that's a good idea. Why am I holding back? He sighs. It doesn't have to go this far. Look, it was a mistake. I know that, I know that, but I'm trying to make things right. Fliss, you know, you've done enough. That's not fair. This isn't right. Ben, please. Aidan, I really can't. Just stop. Okay, don't contact me ever again. He breathes. Maybe he'll hang up this time. But then he says, I love you, brother. I really do. Fuck you. I will never forgive you. The year is 2017. A lifetime before. Well, the World Cup was still a year away and Brexit had its first birthday, but today is Wednesday, 18th of August, and I wake up to a kiss. Hey you, she says, likewise. My face, my wife. I can't or won't remember the rest. We had breakfast on the sofa and watched an episode of some shitty TV. Then Aidan came over, my brother, my best friend, who I thought I could trust until the end. They were going to London that day. She had spare tickets. He had a car for some band's name that I didn't care for. She said goodbye and I'll see you later tonight. All right, I love you, Fliss. I love you too. So glad that she knew. The evening comes when they should be heading back and I don't get a call for an hour. Which doesn't really bother me because it means I can watch another episode or two. So next I send a text just to check, but nothing comes back yet. Not just yet. I try to ring just once and I can hear the dials, but she isn't picking up. Is she driving? Aidan might have been tired. So perhaps she's being cautious. I give my brother a ring, but goes straight to voicemail. And the voice in my head starts to panic for a bit. What ifs and maybes fill my mind, and I keep calling, and I hear the same voicemail 5, 6, 7, 12 times. No one picks up. I Facebook message, WhatsApp, even tweet her, hey, just let me know when I can see it. And then finally I get a ring. It's Fliss's phone. I pick up. Hello, is that Ben Carter? Yeah, who's this? This isn't Fliss. Hi Ben, I'm DC Hall from the Metropolitan Police. This number was given as emergency contact by Felicity Carter. You're her husband, right? I am. What's there's been an accident. What do you mean? Your brother Aidan and your wife were in an accident on the M4. Okay, sirens in the background don't help the matter. Their car swerved into a different lane and went straight into a series of cars passing the opposite side. Is everyone okay? Aidan's been taken to hospital with a few broken bones, and Fliss, I already know what she's going to say. I'm so sorry, Ben. She died on impact. I hear her words. I know what she says, and I feel nothing. Emptiness filling up my lungs and heart. like water slowly filling up a jug. I feel something heavy pour into my soul, and I don't know whether to cry or laugh or both. Is this a joke? Is this a fucking sick joke? Yes, Ben? Yeah? Is there someone with you? A family member? For what? For you to come down and she's dead. Yes, Ben, I'm so sorry. It's now 10 months and a day since my brother took my Felicity away. I put a tie over a tight shirt. I feel like my heart will burst, but I can't burst. Not yet. Not yet. Justice calls at 3:45. I take a bus to the court with the music thumping, grinding, eating at my ears. Why the fuck didn't he stop drinking? Then we stop and I get off and I walk for a minute or two, and there I see him. On the step of the courthouse, for the first time since it all. Aidan, he doesn't even look at me. His eyes fixed on the ground. Swallowing him whole. He seems cold. And all I feel is this urge, this anger. I want to rip him apart. I tear him limb from limb. I want to gouge out his eyes with my hands and rip it down to his jaw. Keep going till my hand hits the floor, seeing his insides, his intestines gush out from his insides, explode, all his flesh and bone. I want him to explode. I want him to suffer, be in pain like I am every fucking day. I feel all of the muscles cry out at the same time, making his body scream from the inside every time, every fucking minute of his life. I want him. But then I hug him. And I cry. Harder than I've ever cried before. He doesn't hold me straight away. But then I feel his embrace and we collapse together on the cobbled floor.
For our penultimate piece, we have The Damnedest Thing by Megan Armitage, performed by Eleanor Wilkinson. Sometimes the hardest thing is to hold yourself together. It might feel like the only way you can keep going, but often the best way to survive is to let it all go. Have a look at the shattered piece and let someone help you put them back together. Enjoy.
It's the damnedest thing to break. It really is. It's the damnedest thing because it feels like a shattering of yourself. And it's also a damned thing because it feels like, in that moment, that's where you're headed. A damned place where no one or nothing will ever be the same way again. Well, it starts, ends, something, in a pub one Friday night. Well, work's been tough. Well, your work's not been tough because it's been boring, monotonous and soul-sucking, but there goes, c'est la vie, life, eh? Life in general, and work in general, has been tough. For people. That great pulsating mass. People. And you're all there after a hard day's work. Oh, drinks on the table. Eddie's up for the second round already. Calls over, miming shots. Ignores the response and lines them up anyway. Sam and Claire have an escalated flirt argument over the back of Michael, hunched over in earnest discussion over the value of this transfer, the stupidity of this 2-1-0-0. Drink one drink, have another, hold it tight, and the ice melts so you drink it quick. Flick. Flick. Someone's playing darts in the corner. Laughter. Like the raft on the current of someone else's life. People. Living their lives, enjoying them. Oh, Paulie's pulled up a stool somewhere beside you, wants in on the conversation, on the fun, this slice of life. Oh, it's crowded now. You're slightly out of this wonky ring of life in this circle of friends. Someone's singing now. Well, pretty plastered. Great! You smile on too. Your chair is tilted slightly back away from the thrust attack and the riposte of the laughing crowd. Place your glass down. No one noticed how quickly it was gone. Reach back, take a drink from the strangers behind you. Oh, no one will notice in the throng. Tick, tick. Hold it tight. Any ice melts. So you drink it quick. Flick, flick. Someone's playing darts in the corner. Oh, someone's singing now. All plastered. Smile. Great. Oh, laughter like a raft. Johnny is telling Cat's story. All the glory and bump of one who knows his jokes will land. Oh, Neil and Sophie. Holding hands? You go to stand. No one sees. Grab a quick one at the bar and get another to bring back. And black, black. Tick, tock. Your way is blocked. Take a sip. Hold it tight. And the ice melts, so you drink it quick. Get an elbow in your side. Oh, fuck. Flick, flick. Someone's playing darts in the corner. Back and order another. Laughter like a raft. Singing. Plastered now. Smile. Great. Someone holding up a hand. Tick, tick. Watch it. Wait. Oh, singing now. Great. And you're smiling all the time. Tick, tick. Flick, flock. Tick, tock. Make it stop. Get an elbow in your chest. Get tick, tick, get a kick, tick, tock, feel the drop, tick, tock, and the shock for glass falls from your hand and shatter. But the glass, that too. But this time, it's you. In the middle of that crowded room. It's the damnedest thing to break. That time you broke Auntie Jean's little porcelain knick-knack box, so that silly little thing. But you lived in fear of your life until you screwed up the courage to tell her. And she, fiery she-devil that she was, turned into a miraculous angel that day. Sat you down, wiped the tears, got out the super glue and set you to work. You, an 8-year-old with a tube of super glue. And when that little box was done, it wasn't perfect, but running along the lid was a crazy shaky line that always made you think of a crooked stitched up smile. Stick your courage to the sticking place. And here, on this sticky floor, you think of Auntie Jane, wounds and plasters now and before. It's the damnedest thing to break. But sometimes there's someone there to help you, piece by piece, back to something less than perfect with a beautiful, crooked smile. You've just got to let the cracks show.
And finally, we have Nest by Jasmine Horn, performed by Emily Louise Baker and Anna Jane Stilwell. Nest is a play set across 3 courses. It is about mother-daughter relationships and their relationship with food. Food is a symbol of love, a ritual, a memory, a weapon, and a form of rebellion or a form of control. We jump into an extract from the main course. Enjoy.
How's it going with that boy?
What boy?
The one you liked?
Well, it's not.
That's such a shame. He seems so nice.
You never even met him.
Yeah, but still. It must be disappointing.
Why?
Just, you know.
What?
You seemed excited.
I was.
So that's disappointing.
So where is Dad?
I told you. Work.
Is it okay if I don't eat this?
Sure?
But is it really?
Of course.
But is it?
Yes.
Do you actually think I have fat thighs?
I never said you had fat thighs. You just have to be careful.
Of what?
Your knees. They could get a bit chunky if you're not careful.
My knees?
Yeah, they could get a bit chunky if you're not careful. I mean, they're fine at the moment.
You can't even get fat knees. That's not even a thing.
It is.
No, it really isn't.
Well, it is.
It's not.
Well,
But no, you can't have fat knees. It's not a thing. You don't put weight on your knees. No one stores knee fat. What possible evolutionary need would there be for knee fat? I mean, only obese people have fat knees because, well, I mean, they just have fat everywhere. I mean, of all the fat on their body, I feel like their knees would be the least noticeable. I mean, if I have fat knees, what the hell can I do about that? You might as well just say I'm fat.
so you definitely aren't going to eat this? I didn't say you were fat. Well, I didn't.
It's not like I can follow some knee fat exercise regime. I mean, there's no Jane Fonda knee workout, how to shift stubborn fat, or, oh, I couldn't possibly have another slice of cake because it will just go straight to my knees. Where's yours?
What?
Where's your plate?
My plate?
You haven't served yourself a portion?
I'm waiting.
For what? The Maharaja to return?
Just nice to eat together.
Are you hungry?
A bit.
Then why don't you fucking eat? Why am I eating on my own?
Well,
No, it's just ridiculous. He's a grown man. He can eat on his own. You hardly see me. I mean, regardless of that. If you were hungry, you should eat. It's weird. Let's just take a step back in time, shall we? No, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full, sir. Isn't it boring? Boring waiting around for a man.
I thought you were hungry. I like waiting for him. I like sitting down and eating with my other half. It's hardly archaic. It's just nice.
Sorry. It's just... Well... I think I might have loved him.
Who?
That boy. At least I think I did.
What boy?
That nice boy, the one you never met.
Oh,
It's horrible.
what is?
All of it. It's just impossible. I hate it. I hate caring. I hate feeling. Like, why can't I just let go of things when they're broken? I just keep holding on regardless. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
He seemed really nice. Maybe it was a bit too good to be true.
Thanks.
I mean, I did wonder when you showed me his picture.
You wondered what?
Well, things that seem too good to be true usually are.
You mean you wondered why you would want to go out with me?
No, but he was very handsome.
So, why would you want to go out with me?
No, but maybe he was too handsome.
What's wrong with you?
I just mean when you're that handsome, you kind of have your own pick, don't you? So it was strange that he was single. I mean, well, you know what I mean.
No. I really don't.
I'm just not all that surprised
Of what?
that he got bored.
That he got bored. That he got...
What?
You're not surprised that he got bored? You're not surprised that he got bored of me? Can you hear what you're saying? I'm not eating this.
Fine. That's not what I said. Are you really not going to eat it?
Where the hell is your portion?
Well, I've already told you I'm waiting for your father. I will give him a call. Hello. Hi, it's me. Sorry. It's just that your daughter is wasting away here. Just thought I would check in to see how long... Okay. You don't mind? Fine. You have to go, okay. No, sorry. Didn't mean to pester. Yes, absolutely, I understand. Just wanted you here, that's all. I know it's silly. It's important to me. No. As soon as you can, yes. All right, of course. Love you. Well, I certainly can't eat all that.
Then don't.
Would you normally have that much?
It's not that much.
That's really a normal portion size for you.
Probably. I don't know, it depends how hungry I am.
Clearly starving.
It's not that much.
I just think you should be careful.
Sorry?
I mean, with portions like that, you're going to put on weight.
Am I?
Well, at some point it's going to catch up with you.
Is it?
I mean it. I really think you should take it a bit more seriously. Well?
Great. Good to know.
Why are you being so short with me?
I'm not.
You are.
I just don't care.
You don't care?
No.
Well, that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Is it? Good.
Come off it.
Come off what?
Miss, I'm not going to eat bread anymore, or I don't eat meat, or God knows what other dietary requirements I can come up with. So don't you dare say that you don't care, because you do. And you will if you get fat. Just don't blame me. Fat children always blame their parents.
When's Dad getting back?
I don't know.
Well, why don't you ask him?
I did. He's busy at work.
But is he coming?
Let
me guess. You don't know.
So you're a single Pringle again?
Sorry?
Single and ready to mingle?
Well, I suppose so. Actually, no.
Sorry?
No, I'm not.
You're not single?
Not ready to mingle.
Oh.
I'm just going to leave it out for a bit.
Oh, okay.
You
know my friend's son is a lawyer.
Good for him.
It's good to be with someone who, will be able to provide for you.
I can provide for myself.
Right. I'm not saying... I didn't mean anything like that. I work. I like to work. I like my job. I was just...
Maybe it's nice to know your worth in a way that nobody else has to define for you.
Blimey, yeah. Wow. Okay, I suppose that's... Yeah, I really didn't mean anything, but I wasn't.
Maybe it's nice to just fall sometimes and not wait for someone to catch you. Actually, no, I don't mean nice. Not nice. Vital, because maybe it's important to fall and know that it's perfectly fine to fall. You can just pick yourself back up again. Even if it hurts, even if it leaves you with some scars, it's okay. And whatever happens, it's going to be okay, because it has to be. It can be shitty, but it's going to be fine.
Okay. Well?
I don't want to date. I don't want to be someone's, I want to be mine. I lose myself in people. I lose myself in this ridiculous need to know how to save them, protect them, support them, even if they don't need me. Even if they don't want me to, that's the worst. That's what hurts the most, when I can't stop even though they actively don't want me to. I mean, the more I do, the more I push, the more I feel them recoiling away from me, and my desperate need to please, my desperate need to find some sense of worth in them. It's too much. I'm too much. It's too much to ask of someone to save someone against their will. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's what a relationship should be. I don't think you're supposed to need someone. I mean, when we broke up, he told me he still needed me. He needed me. I held on to that, like some kind of trophy, like some kind of proof it was all worth it. I thought he was going to come back. I mean, he needed me. I'd made it impossible for him not to come back, right? And then he didn't. He just walked away. And I stood there, still, just waiting. And he kept moving. And he didn't stop moving. No looking back. No need, I wasn't worth it. Nothing I did made me worthy, but I was stuck. I was fixed to the spot, waiting. Waiting to feel worthy again. It's like it didn't compute. I couldn't process it. And then it hit me. It's not enough for someone to need you. They have to want you. They have to actively choose you, and that's a different thing. That's a completely different thing. He never wanted me.
Well, that piece made me hungry for more content. That worked, right? Maybe not. I'll put it in there. So, that is the end of our second show of Tickle and Scratch. Thank you so much again for all the actors, the writers, and even the directors this week for stepping in and giving your time and helping create content. We absolutely appreciate it. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the pieces, please give this video a like, help share it around, help spread the word, and hopefully will help bring more creative goodness to more homes. You can also make sure to follow Turnpoint Theatre on all our social media platforms. Once again, thank you so much for joining us at Turnpoint Theatre. This has been your host, Peter Taylor. We look forward to seeing you at the next show, at the same time next week, and we will see you later. As always, take care, stay safe, bye.